Alright, I've been flight middling this BVM T33 off and on now for a couple of weeks. I've probably worked on it about 6 or 7 evenings. I posted a couple of pictures on RCU, and I've heard from a few guys that have had some trouble putting this stuff on, and they asked if maybe I can make a video. So I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to make it fast, so hopefully it's just a 1 10-minute video. What I went ahead and have done here is I've taped off the panel that I want to do just to speed things up. I used 3M painter's tape up here because it's a tough curve. These are just regular tape because I have good thick panel lines. It's going to really help me cut this off. I've put on an index mark, a little Sharpie mark here and here. That'll help me line this up, and then another light one down here. So it'll tell me where roughly I want to start out with this piece. So when I'm done, it'll lay up in here really nice like that. So our next step is to go ahead and pull the backing off. I'm going to show you what I use to put this on. I use a paper pencil, I guess is what I call this. I don't really know what it is, but it comes with your flight metal kit. It's good for burnishing. I also use a Sharpie. He gives you some of these as well. And I like to do a lot of it with the cap off because every now and then I'm not that careful. And this line on the cap will put a scratch mark on your metal. You can burnish most scratches out, but if you don't put it on there, it's less work. So what we're going to do is peel our backing off. Right before it comes off, you have to be ready for your aluminum to try to curl up a little bit. So just kind of hang on to it as you peel it off. And then once that's loose, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of a curve in this, just like that. Keeps it from rolling up and preps it for putting it on there, or putting it on the plane. So I'm going to line up my little index marks nice and high so I don't run out of material at the top. And I'm going to go ahead and just use my finger and run right down the bottom. You can already see where my tape is at the bottom, so I'm good to go. What we want to be careful is not to trap any air under here. So we're going to start rubbing from the bottom and work our way up. So let's do it. It's very fast, very easy. And then I'll grab my metal, do a little tug, keep it from getting any wrinkles in it that I don't have to have. And being careful at the same time not to trap any air. And I'm sure everybody's got their own technique. Joey Tomaz and Scott Moore are really good at doing this. Joe Grice as well. I would say probably Joe Grice is one of the masters. The gentleman that did the Russian Bear, I don't know his name, but I've seen his work. He's certainly really good at it. I would figure average at best, but I really enjoy working with this material. What I'm running into is it's sticking on my stab a little, so I'm going to pull it loose. It's just really easy stuff to work with, to be honest with you. I'm just going to keep rubbing until we get to the top. I'm going to trim it right out. Alright, I'm pretty much at the top on this side. So let's come back and work this one. I'm going to change the way I hold my Sharpie because I'm in a tight area here. I'm going to rub it up this way. And this is one of the reasons I definitely take my cap off of my pen. I would be scratching it if I had that cap on there right now. And sometimes you've even got to get in here with this little pencil where it's just really tight and hard to work with. Turn it a little bit. You can kind of see what we're doing here. Get a little bit more light on this as well. There we go. Alright, we'll just use my paper pencil. Rubbing all my panel lines. Helps me see where I'm going to be cutting this off. I really enjoy using this material. It's kind of one of those things that's almost instant gratification. Because if you get tired of putting it on, you can put some rivets on for a while. If you get tired of that, you can get your Scotch-Brite out or whatever type of finishing technique you want. And you can finish out parts of your plane. Okay, now we're going to trim the flight metal off. Just get in here this blade. I like pushing away from the metal. Doesn't peel it off the plane this way. Cuts really easy. except when you hit the back of the thing with this carbon. Then we're going to take the blade, we're just going to run it right down in the panel line. It's always wise to use a nice sharp blade. Oliver taught me a trick when he was here last time, the gentleman that goes by Alinco on RC Universe, and that is to dip your number 11 blade mineral spirits. It keeps it from kind of putting a little sharp edge on your aluminum as you cut it. I don't have any here tonight, so I'm just working real hard to not have any type of micro tears, and I'm using a really sharp blade. That helps a lot. Okay, so there's 2 of my cuts. Now for the hard one. We're going to get right up in here and cut right along this panel line. Sometimes it's tricky because there's a mirror reflection from your blade, from your tape. So you've got to kind of keep moving your head around and looking for the shadow so you can stay right in your panel line. Especially this one up here. It's not a deep groove on the fuselage. It's not really molded in that deep like the other 2. So I use thicker tape, lots of patience. Alright, let's see how I did. Let's slowly peel this off and hope we don't tear the metal anywhere. I think I got a really good cut, so I'm not too nervous about this. I do see one thing that can give me trouble. What that is I have a little aluminum on top of my tape. So when I take my tape off, sometimes that will tear your aluminum. So I'm going to come back, make sure that I am down in that panel line really good. So when I pull my tape off, I'm not going to tear my aluminum right up there. That looks pretty good. So let's pull the tape off real slow, see how that comes out. So far so good. There's that little piece we were worried about. There we go. So let's go ahead and pull the rest of this aluminum off. And there's an official piece of flight metal on this airplane. Now I'm going to come back with my little paper pencil, rub in all my edges, make sure they're down nice and tight. We'll do a little riveting.